What's up, Kingdom family? Welcome back to the Keys to the Kingdom, where we drop all the keys to the kingdom. Dr. G is in the building. If you are new to the royal family, come on and hit that subscribe button because we're kings and queens actively living out our purposes, full of positive vibes, changing lives, and loving on the Lord, right? This is the place to be. You do not want to miss the messages that come through on my channel. Shout out to my faithful family, always in the building, holding it down in the comments. I love y'all so very much. And I'm so blessed and grateful to share this journey with you all. Listen, baby. Okay, like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Join the royal family. All right, this is the place to be because we give you the keys to the kingdom, which are the keys to your freedom. Okay, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial freedom. Hallelujah. Okay, comment, especially if you are new to our royal family, so we can welcome you. All right, let us know where you're from. Okay, baby. Let's get into this message. Well, actually, before we get into the message, I need to address something. So, in a previous video, my last upload, I don't remember what it's titled, but I stated that if you don't forgive certain people, God won't forgive them. And so I had a comment, and I'm not sure whoever else felt this way, but I wanted to address it again so everybody can be clear. God does forgive everyone, regardless of anything, right? He has grace, He forgives us. I know that. In the context of what He was ministering to my spirit about in this message that I was delivering, was that basically we're in a judgment time and we're in a season of harvest and blessings, right? And so when you forgive people, when he was saying he has your back, it means that he was going to release them from that wrath that they were going to be experiencing for harming you. He was going to release them from experiencing his judgment, his harsh judgment, from the harm that they have caused onto you or inflicted onto you some type of way in your life. Okay, and so when he has me on a feast of dedication, this is actually the last day. Whoop, whoop. He had me initially releasing people, freeing people from, the harm that they have caused me, or if I had any unforgiveness left in my heart. He was saying, forgive these people, Brittany, because when you do it, it's like a double blessing. Not only will I forgive you for the things that you have done, I'm also going to forgive these people, and I'm not going to, right? Like, I'm going to take my judgment hand off of them, and I'm going to also be a blessing for them. And so that's why later in the video I said, you pay the harder price. You did the hard stuff, right? Like swallowing your pride, chucking your ego, dying to yourself, being fully consecrated in the Lord, surrendering your life to God so he can get you right, so he can heal you. And now other people are going to be connected to you and receive mighty blessings or get stuff half off or at discount or even for free because of the blessing that you're going to be in their life. Okay, and so I'm sorry if I didn't articulate that in a way that you would understand the message. I didn't want it to seem like God is not going to forgive people if you don't forgive them. No, that's not what I meant to say, but partially I do be talking too fast. And sometimes, and listen, as a voice, as a messenger for God, it happens. Sometimes we're talking too fast. Sometimes the Holy Spirit is popping up. Sometimes we get too on fire, right? And we're like misspeaking words or over saying something that we already said, or we're not saying something that we intended to say. Okay, so it's very hard on this other side of the chair, all right, or on this other side of the video. And so when you hear us speaking, show us grace. Show us grace, because for one, if you was in this position, if you was in the seat, if you were in these shoes, if you was walking it and other people are walking this journey, we know the challenge that it is, okay, to get a message from God. So when I get a message, I feel it. Like, I feel the glory of it. I feel everything. I'm like, Lord, I know exactly what you're talking about, right? This is hitting my spirit, and I know exactly what it means for me in my current situation, right? But then when he tells us to release it to the world, because it might be for somebody else, for us to articulate that or to find, the way he wants us to deliver it, right? Sometimes he's just giving you, okay, hello, dictation, transcribe, here you go, get it out there. But other times it's like you trying to put together the words that he told you to say, the message that he told you to deliver, okay? And so it can be very challenging. So please try to find the good in us more than y'all look to find the bad in us, okay? Because if it was you, you would want grace extended to you, all right? We're not gonna get it right, we're not gonna get it perfect all the time, but we out here, we actively living in our purpose, like I said, all right? And God God got us, okay? So yes, I just wanted to address that. God does forgive everyone, but baby, be a double blessing, okay? To those who have harmed you, those who have cursed you, instead of God reversing them curses back on them, He will forgive them. He will free them from experiencing that, all right? Once you let Him know, like, baby, it's all right, God. They cool with me. They good with me, okay? I forgave them. I love them. I speak life over them. I pray for them. I bless them. And God is like, I got your back. All right, we good. Okay, go give them a gift now. Go give them a hug now. Go give them a call now. Go check up on them now. Okay, right? Okay, so anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this message because this is a requested video for one of my royal family members. I'm sure a lot of you have this question, and so I'm just going to speak from a place of my own experience, my own insight in the journey that God took me on when it was time for me to move. Okay, I got a question. Someone asked, "How do you know when it's time for you to move?" Right? That's one of the requested videos, and so I'm addressing this one first. And baby, you'll know. You'll know. And are you ready for the? Okay, I'm gonna go through my list. All right, listen. You'll know. God will impress it upon your heart that it is time for you to move. Okay, and so for me, initially he gave me the desire in my heart a long time ago. I always wanted to live in Atlanta. Now my intentions, my motives as to why I wanted to live in Atlanta was totally different from what the Lord had in store for me, but I just knew he placed Atlanta on my heart, right, from very young. And I was like, okay, I don't know when this is going to happen, how this is going to happen, but I know that this place is on my mind. I forgot about Atlanta. I forgot about it. And then when it was actually getting closer to the time for me to move, because I moved in June 30th of 2020. Yeah. Ooh, middle of pandemic, baby. Okay. Talk about it. So I moved then, and maybe I should give y'all some backstory. Okay, so I really don't know where to start with this. All right, boom. How do you know when it's time to move? So here's the backstory. Yes, it was a desire placed on my heart by the Lord, although I had my own intentions of why I wanted to go here. Second thing is he had me keep running into people who already lived in Atlanta. So this is how he was bringing it back up to me, okay? He was putting people in my circle, in my atmosphere that was living in Atlanta. They just came back to Buffalo from Atlanta, or they were about to move to Atlanta. And when I heard Atlanta again, I'm like, I always wanted to live in Atlanta, you know? And so it started bringing my desire back. So this desire, this dream of mine, it was in my heart, but it was like lying dormant, okay? It was just, I didn't think it was for me. And I was building a business in Atlanta because he had me start my business first. I mean, excuse me, in Buffalo, because you see what I'm talking about? I meant to say Buffalo, but I said Atlanta, okay? So anyway, sometimes we can catch ourselves, sometimes we can't. Mind your business. But no, I was building my business in Buffalo first. And so it popped off with the retreats. And I'm like, well, Lord, I don't know if I should still move now because what's going to happen to the business? You know, I didn't really know how he wanted me to navigate that. So anyway, worrying about things I shouldn't have been worried about because God knew all things. Okay, he told me, yes, you are still moving, even with this business. Okay, and he started putting people on my path. So I would be at Zumba, I would be at the gym, of course, working out. I would be at my best friend's house. I would be at her aunt's house, and she had cousins who lived out there. And then I would be in school, and I would, because I was teaching out there, and I would see other people, like my colleagues who was living in Atlanta, and they was telling me all about Atlanta. I was just picking their brain, picking their brain, picking their brain about Atlanta. So that's one way that you will know. God will start, for one, arising the desire back up for you to get excited about it again, right? It might have been something that was in your mind, something that was in your heart, and you forgot about it, you let it go. But he's going to get you excited about the place, right? That you want to live to, okay? And then two, he's going to start having you encounter people that live there or going there or moving there, just came back from there, whatever the case may be. And so you're going to start being excited to pick their brain and see what it's like to live there or what's going on out there, or, you know, you might want to visit, okay? And so another thing, I was feeling bigger than my job. I was feeling bigger than my job. So yes, I had a business, but I was also still working. And so I was feeling bigger than a 9 to 5. Well, at that time I was working at a school, and so it was like 8 to 3. But anyway, I was feeling bigger than that 8 to 3. I was like, baby, I felt like it was a cap on what I could do because I knew the purposes and the plans and the dreams that God placed in my spirit. And no, nothing against Buffalo. Nothing against Rough Buff, okay? But I just knew in the snow, baby, we're not even gonna talk about how cold it is in the snow out there. But I knew that my dreams, what God placed in my heart, I knew that it was a cap on what I could do out there. So maybe you're going to be feeling like, I'm bigger than this. I'm bigger than this job. I'm bigger than this home that I'm in, this atmosphere I'm in. I feel like I'm stuck. I'm doing all of the efforts. I'm putting all of my effort into things. I'm being very intentional about everything. I'm giving my all. I'm giving my all, and nothing is taking off. Nothing is happening. How am I? Because baby, I was tabling. I was recruiting people. I was traveling. I was doing so much to try to get myself up off the ground or pick myself up out of like just this poverty state, right? And God was letting me know, like, baby, you're just here for the lessons, okay? That's not your promised land. That's not the place for the blessing, okay? And so I had to move. I had to be positioned for my purpose to take off. I had to be positioned for my blessing. And so you might be feeling the pressure to move because it's just like nothing is really happening here and I'm giving my all. You're actually doing what you know that God has told you to do. And it's just like, baby, this ain't working. Okay. So if you've been feeling like that, might be an indicator that God is telling you, get ready, we about to shift some things around because you gotta go. Okay, if you giving your all, you listening, you being obedient, and nothing is still happening, that's not your place for the blessing. That was just your place for the lesson. Okay, get ready, pack it up, leave it all behind, and get yourself on out of there. All right. Another way, God was having, oh, by the way, these are all going to be practical tips and wisdom and knowledge. Like, God didn't give me no prophetic dream to move. He did not speak to me in his audible voice to move. He was just showing me signs, and he was confirming his word to me when I was speaking to him through prayer or asking him things. Okay. So if y'all looking for like some big spiritual kabam, like, no, it wasn't like that at all. God was literally just confirming things to me back to back, back to back, and I knew. All right. And so another way he was confirming things to me, confirming that it was time for me to move, was that in my home, weird things was happening that was causing me to clean stuff out, stuff that I never want to look at, stuff that I never want to touch, right? So I remember a pipe busting under my kitchen sink. This pipe bust so many times. I've told my landlord, like, you need to fix whatever you got going on here, this system, this because baby, it's not working. And so she never fixed it. And needless to say, when it bust this last time, I had so much stuff down there, like cleaning supplies, but it was getting yucky. And then I had something else on the left side of the cabinet. Anyway, I had to clean it all out. And when I cleaned it out, God put something in my spirit. It was just like, throw this stuff away. You don't need it. And then, like, maybe 2 weeks, within the same month at least, a coat closet in my living room, something happened there that she had to come. Oh, my goodness. It was a fire in the house, in the building, that in the apartment. So I lived in an apartment, but it was a house, okay? And so the house next to my house caught on fire, but their house was facing my coat window. And so when the firemen had to come and do something, it messed up my coat closet window. And so my landlord said, hey, they have water in there. We have to pull out the carpet that's in there. You got to take all of your stuff out. We're going to come and give you a new carpet. All of these beautiful jazzy, fazzy things. Is fazzy a word? Probably not. Come on, doctor, get it together. But they had to do all of these wonderful things, and me and my friend, I called Neil. I'm like, yo, can you come help me clean this closet out, baby? That closet has so much stuff in it. It didn't make no sense. And that's the thing. You don't even look at this stuff, right? These are things that you don't need. Okay. And so God is gonna be doing things, right? Because I I contribute everything. I put everything back to God. I'm like, Lord, if something is happening to me, okay, good or bad, it's because of you. It's because you want me to be experiencing this right now. It's something for me to learn right now in this. And so, anyway, I attribute everything back to my father when something happens. And I cleaned out that closet with my friend. We was throwing stuff out. I had old shoes in there. I had old coats in there. Just things that I wasn't wearing, things that I didn't need, and boom, got it done. Okay. And so yeah, God is going to have certain things happening where you're naturally going to be spring cleaning, even if you don't want to be cleaning. Okay. But he's low key, he's preparing you for the big move. Right. And so he knows that it will overwhelm us. If he told us to do something in a drop of a dime, and we felt the pressure to do it like immediately and all at once, he know that that will overwhelm us. And so if you are, following the Lord, hearing the Lord, he's going to do things at your pace. He's going to make sure that, yes, you're going to be a little uncomfortable, but for the most part, he's going to make sure that you're solid, you're okay to do what he's asking you to do. And so he'll do it like inch by inch by inch by inch. Okay. And then so boom, now the kitchen sink is done, the coat closet is done, and now boom, right? Now you just got to do other little parts, right? Over time. Okay. And so I hope y'all following. He'll put the desire on your heart. He will start having you run into people who live in the place that you want to go. So now you're getting excited. You're picking their brain. He will start making you feel like you are unfulfilled at the current workplace that you're at. And he'll start making you clean stuff out. Okay. Just unexpectedly, you're clearing house. You don't even know why, but he's preparing you. What else? Oh, so when I found out the city he wanted me to live in, because he actually let me go and visit Atlanta. I only visited Atlanta twice before I moved here. I know that sounds crazy, right? And I was a little sad because I'm like, Lord, I was 18 years old when you had me move away from Brooklyn, move out of my apartment in Brooklyn with my family. And so I'm like, you put me 8 hours away from them upstate. And now you're telling me that I'm going to be moving 14 hours away from my family and friends. And not only that, but I'm going out of the state. What are we doing here? Okay. It was like, why, Lord, why? But I didn't know what to expect, right? And so every moment, and I'm saying this because this might free somebody. Don't ever feel like you're going to be certain that, like, yes, this is the right thing to do. I'm so excited to do this. I can't wait. It's going to be the best thing that ever happened to me, and everything's going to be seamless and smooth. Because that was the total opposite of my experience. And again, I'm just one person, but when I speak to other people too, when things come from the Lord, when blessings come from the Lord, it's actually a ton of work. It's actually an investment. It's actually challenging. And sometimes it's not going to always be easy, and you are going to feel uncomfortable. But that's what makes the whole transition that much more beautiful, because you actually challenge yourself to do something that puts you outside of your comfort zone, and you see who you can become. You see all the things that you can do, and you're like, oh, okay, God, you must know something about me that I don't know. Okay, you must see something in me that I don't see in myself. Okay, and so yes, those were my sentiments. Those were my emotions the whole entire time of like knowing that I had to prepare to move to Atlanta, but not feeling 1,000% confident or sure, going back and forth with God and myself, like, how we gonna do this, when we gonna do it, where's the money coming from to do this? Okay. And yeah, so anyway, he allowed me to visit twice. Again, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so I decided I wanted to move. And I'm getting to my point about the city. Hold on one second, but I'm just backtracking, thinking about this whole time that I was preparing to move. So I was I went to visit Atlanta in March of 2019, and then by the end of 2019, around October, so between March and October, I was indecisive. I didn't know if I wanted to move yet or not, because from March to like July, I was working at a job where I knew I was about to be transitioning out of that job. And I'm like, God, you got to put me in something that's like better than this. And so he put me in a charter school, which was way better pay, but I still had to even negotiate to get that salary that I was making. I had to negotiate. So I was just like, Lord, this ain't it, right? For the dreams and the desires that you have in my heart. I just know that this is not going to be enough for me. And so, by October, so August, September, October, 2 months on the job, I texted my friend Neil. I was like, yo, I think I'm ready to move, son. And she was like so supportive. She's like, all right, do it. Let's do it. I support you. And I was like, huh. So I had an extra confirmation from God, right? Like it was God confirming to through my support system, my support network that yes, I know you just got to this job, but this job is just to help you get to the next level, right? So it's like a little ladder, a little bridge, but I'm getting you to the full picture here. You're on the right track. You're going to be set to go. So October finally made my decision. I'm going. From October of 2019 to January of 2020. So I left December. I went to visit Atlanta December, the end of December, like December 29th to January 4th. So I stayed out there for a week. Me and God has this thing that wherever I'm going to be living for the new year is where I'm going to rest my head. Like that's where I'm going to wake up in, the city I'm going to wake up in. I know it might sound crazy, but please follow me. And so I knew that if I wanted to spend 2020 in Atlanta, I needed to be in Atlanta before before 2020 came in. Okay, so I went December 29th to 2020 to January 4th of 2020, and that's when I finally was able to see my apartment complex in the flesh. Like I was touring places, and I knew that this was the place because God kept confirming it. And this is what I was getting back to. He confirmed the city that he wanted me to live in through a license plate. Okay, my love. So I know it might sound crazy. You might see a car, right? It was a, well, I'm not going to tell y'all because then y'all probably know closer to the city I live in. But anyway, it was a car and it was literally the city that he told me to live in. And so I kept seeing it. I kept seeing it. This city, it kept following me, right? And then I kept seeing Atlanta license plates just in general, but it was in Buffalo. Okay. I wasn't in Atlanta at the time. It was in Buffalo. And so I was like, Lord, you keep showing me this city. You keep showing me city. Okay, cool. I'm excited. We're going to go. So from after January, I only had 6 months to get myself together because my moving date was July 1st. And I was like, all right, I let my people in Brooklyn know. I'm like, baby, is y'all down for the road or what? Because we got to get up out of here, okay? And so everybody was planning. We was in a group chat with each other and I had to handle my business. So in the meantime and in between time, God is going to, what's the word? He's going to be piecing things together for you. But again, it might still feel very chaotic. It might still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, like how this video is a little bit all over the place. That's how I was feeling. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Right? Like I only went here twice. I don't really know the neighborhood. Um, it's a little stranger danger out here. Okay, but God, I hear you keep confirming your word. I hear you keep confirming your word. So I'm down. I'm down with it. Okay. Another thing, you're not going to be able to avoid the spiritual warfare attached to your move. There's going to be spiritual warfare attached to your move, okay? And so, oh my goodness, I had so much spiritual warfare attached to my move. The night before, remember I told you I went to Atlanta December 29th. So, like December 28th, I checked in with the person that I was supposed to be staying with in Atlanta because I didn't want to pay for a hotel for a week. I'm like, I'm gonna be out there for a week. I don't want to pay for a hotel. That's a waste of money when I'm already gonna have a rental. Anyway, I was trying to be frugal, but that didn't work because I hit him up and I was like, hey, I'm coming out here. I'm coming out there. Is it cool? Are you still gonna be able to pick me up from the airport? All this other stuff. he was like, he just had to unexpectedly move from his apartment. And I'm like, so you wasn't going to tell me? You wasn't going to, when were you going to tell me this? Okay. Because sis is on a flight tomorrow. Baby, what we doing? And so, guys, literally, I'm thinking all of that is handled though, because I already had spoken to him before ahead of time when we had this all planned out. But he's like, unexpectedly, he had to move out of his apartment. And so he's not going to be able to have me at his house anymore. And I was like, okay. God had already set me up though. The week before that, I was at my relative's house, and it was my cousin's sister-in-law's mother husband. The ghetto. I hope y'all caught that. Okay. So her husband owns property in Atlanta. Hope y'all following. So he owns real estate in Atlanta, although they live in Jersey. And so while I was at her house, I was speaking to him about real estate. Okay. And I didn't know that God was having me have that interaction, that connection with him, because I was going to have to, okay, ask him for a little favor within a week. So he needed to make that point of contact because listen, baby, my mouth, closed mouths don't get fed for real. The reason why I get into positions or opportunities in life or whatever the case is because I open my mouth. I'm not afraid. I'm a go getter, goal setter, whatever y'all want to call it. I go get what's mine, okay? I take what I need, I get what I want. Um, but that ain't work for other parts of my life because you can't do that in every aspect of your life. But when it comes to like business, when it comes to school, when it comes to, ooh, something in my eye, Lord, when it comes to health, um, I've always been like that. You have to open your mouth, you have to network, you have to be a people person, you have to communicate, you have to be of good character, of good cheer. Okay, and people just they want to look out for you because they like, yo, she's good people, right? Of course I'm gonna look out for B. Of course I'm gonna look out for Brittany. All right. And so I went and called him up. No, I called her mom because her mom loves me as well. So I called her mom, and I was like, does your husband have any rooms available or apartments or whatever in Atlanta? Because last minute I need to come out here. And so when I went, she was like, yeah. And he let me stay there. So I stayed there for the week, and I still had to, spend money because I had to buy certain things for the apartment, for the house, but it was okay. I didn't mind it. I stayed there, and when I was in, I was like, God, this don't look like or feel like what you told me. And the city that the house was in, it was one of the rougher parts of Atlanta. Okay. And so I was like, oh no, Lord. Like it was low key making me feel like I don't think this is for the queen. Cause I'm low key like, I'm bourgeois. Okay. I'm bougie. Okay. But no, okay, maybe I'm not bougie. But I was really, it wasn't about it wasn't the luxury married to medicine, Atlanta housewives. It wasn't giving me none of that feel. So I was like, Lord, I think you're gonna have to keep this because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it in Atlanta. But no, he was ministering to me. He kept encouraging me. He's like, if you want to be here, I'm gonna give you the nice. I'm gonna give you the beautiful. Cause baby, y'all should see where he had me living. The pool was gorgeous. The balcony, the patio, whatever it was. Um, the kitchen, the wash and dryer, the towel on the floor, the high ceilings, the nature, the flowers, the gym. Okay, it was so clean, crisp, beautiful, luxurious. And that's what I like, right? I like clean things. I like stuff that's like organized and beautiful. Anyway, so I was like, Lord, this don't look like what you told me. And so that was the first spiritual warfare thing. It was a battle, right? For me to sit in that home and be comfortable, and for me to trust that God is leading me in this place because it was so dark, it just didn't feel like it. The second thing was when I came to visit. Atlanta for the first time with my friend, and I'm telling y'all the story a little backwards here. She had a beautiful purple rental car for us because my favorite color is purple, and my friends are obsessed with, like, they're just the best. My friends are literally the best. They know I'm very thoughtful when it comes to certain things and gift giving and all that other stuff. So they like to be thoughtful back with me. And so she's like, "Girl, I know your flight got delayed." I don't know what other rental she had before that, but she's like, "I'm gonna surprise her with a purple rental." And so when she pulled up on me, she's like, "Yeah, I wanted to surprise you because I know your flight got delayed." So anyway, it was hard for me to even get to Atlanta. Okay, family, my flight got delayed. And when she came, beautiful purple. I think we had like a Dodge Charger, but it was purple. Okay, Atlanta has all these luxury cars out here because people fake, fake bourgeois. But anyway, don't y'all know somebody tried to break in our car? Oh yes, baby. They tried to break into the car, and so the car, the glass window, whatever. We had to call the cops. We had to um get a new rental, something less flashy. And I was just like, Lord, you can't be telling me to come here. Okay. And so where we was staying at, we didn't know. We so foolish. I think we had stayed in College Park. It was it was a hotel in College Park. Okay, baby. But I didn't know. I'm not from Atlanta. And baby, I guess we ain't doing enough research because so that's another thing, my loves. Is that it for the spiritual warfare? Because I want to go on and talk to you about something else. Oh, and then even down to the day of me moving, right? The drive was nuts because we had someone with us who, and I'm not gonna say any names, but it wasn't any of my friends, but it was someone a friend brought. I'll say that. And their attitude, their mood, it wasn't conducive for what we had to endure that day. Like putting stuff in the truck, driving 14 hours, and then having to take stuff out and put it in. It was rough. And we left late. We ended up, I wanted to leave early in the morning, be out there on the road. We ended up leaving late, like 5 p.m. Was so bad. It was so bad. So we was driving all night. And I don't like driving at night. I barely like driving at all, okay? Shout out to my chauffeur, wherever the chauffeur is at. But baby, we had to get it together, okay? So anyway, that whole drive was horrible, my loves. And so again, it was and then my key to my car broke. And so God was giving me a new car though. That was my obedience gift. As soon as I dropped in Atlanta, he gave the girl a new car. Okay, baby. So anyway, your obedience will lead to blessings, but you have to get there first. And in spite of the warfare, stay focused on the mission. Stay focused on your goal. Continue to go, okay? And so what I was gonna say about this whole crime thing with the car, make sure you do your due diligence and research these places. And so when you're moving out of the state, especially, or it's just to a familiar city, I mean, an unfamiliar city, you want to look into key things. So I was on like apartments.com or Trulia to find apartments, but then I was reading the reviews very thoroughly. And people only write great reviews or really horrible reviews. Like if you have a great experience, you're gonna write something positive. If you have a horrible experience, it's nothing that it's all gonna be negative. But what you want to pay attention to in the reviews is the date of the review, because if it's something within the last 6 months or 12 months, it's going to most likely affect you. And you want to look into the crime that's in that neighborhood. So um it might, like, people might be speaking about, oh, the gate is broken. Like, say if you're supposed to have a key code and you're banking on having a key code for your safety, but then they say the gate is always open or the gate is always broken. It's really no safety there. So if that's something that's going to matter to you, be a deal breaker, you want to pay attention to that. If you have children, you want to look into the school district that you're going to be in. What schools are around there? What are the ratings, right? You want to look into the maintenance. So sometimes, especially in Atlanta, baby, okay, for one, it's hot. You don't want to hear no bad reviews about ACs not working, the central AC, whatever. You don't want to hear no bad reviews about that. Also, the water bugs. Baby, you want maintenance on top of their job. You want to hear that that apartment complex is clean, 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 top notch clean. Or if it's not top notch, clean, that those maintenance people be on it, okay, to make sure that whatever situation is going on is rectified, okay, immediately. So that's important. And then management office, your leasing office, whoever you're going to be dealing with. I had, although I wasn't able to physically come to Atlanta, a lot of times I came twice and then I just had to move. I was speaking to my apartment complex and my leasing agent virtually. Okay, so I would call them, they would give me FaceTime tours, and I was able to see my apartment complex before actually moving. So I got to get a feel and discern their spirit and their character, and they love me. And so God might also confirm to you that way, right? Does it feel peaceful? Do you feel happy when you speak to these people? Do you feel the spirit of the Lord when you step into that apartment? Do you feel like you're going to be able to be relaxed there and that it's going to be a safe place for you there? Okay. Those are ways that he will also confirm that, yes, my spirit is here. I'm leading you here. This is some place that I want you to go to. Okay. So yeah, do your due diligence. I was also on YouTube watching videos. Once he told me the city that I was going to be living in, I was like, okay, what is there to do out there? Okay. I was very practical. I looked at what I did in Buffalo. So I'm like, I know I go to the gym. I need to find me an LA Fitness. Where's the LA Fitness at compared to my apartment complex? Where's the distance at to LA Fitness? I knew the bank that I used. I'm like, okay, where's this bank at? How far is it from my apartment complex? I knew they don't have my favorite grocery store out here. So I had to trade Wegmans for the Krogers of the world and the Whole Foods of the world and the Publix of the world, okay? And so that made me a little sad. They didn't have a Wegmans, but I got over it. Didn't take me very long. Um, what else do I do in Buffalo? Anyway, you just want to make sure, like your favorite restaurant, you want to make sure, okay? Because the pizza out here, I have not found it. I'm sorry if y'all live in Atlanta, please don't harm the messenger. But baby, when you're from Brooklyn, you want a good slice of pizza. I have not found a good slice of pizza in Atlanta. I just haven't. I really haven't, okay? And so that's disappointing as well. But I was looking for the pizza, okay? So you want to make it practical. Where am I going to? Oh, my hair, my nails, my eyebrows, my waxes. Okay, I was like, Lord, that was the hardest for my queens. If y'all, that's going to be the hardest, starting over again, because I had all of my connects lined up in Buffalo. I don't have my hairstylist. Okay, I miss her. Okay, because the braids ain't been the same, the hair ain't been the same. Y'all see, I always got my hair tied up because, baby, I don't like everybody just in my head. That we not doing. So if you don't know how to do, actually, are there any hairstylists out there, baby? Listen, you have to be willing to travel. I pray that you're ready in Atlanta, but I need a somebody to braid my hair privately though. Like I want you to just be like a phone call away, my love. Okay. I need a hair braider and if you know how to do silk press, okay? Needed somebody to hook my silk press up. And eventually I'm going to be looking for a beautiful photographer. And when I really make it in life, a chauffeur, okay, baby, because the queen don't want to drive no more. But anyway, no, seriously, can y'all please help the girl with her hair? That's the first thing. Then I'll probably stop covering it up. Then I'll probably look a little more presentable for y'all. But no, seriously. So my loves, that's gonna be the hardest, especially for my queens. Starting over, just finding like, and men, I guess like the place where you get your hair cut at, right? Or I don't know, the place where you work out at, or your bank. Okay, I don't know. It's just it's a change. It's a change. You moving is definitely a change. You moving out the state, definitely a change. You moving out the country because God is sending some people out of the country. They're going on missions out of the country. And that baby, I don't know how y'all do it, but yeah, just it's a lot, but we got this, okay? Let me see what else I want to tell y'all. I'm trying to look at my notes because I've been talking for a long time, baby. Um, Again, don't let spiritual warfare stop you or deter you from your promise. Okay. Um, yeah, I was having, oh man. Mm-mm-mm. Crazy spiritual warfare trying to get out here. The devil did not want the queen out here, okay? For sure. Because he knew God was about to take the queen off. All right. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I told y'all everything. All right. Oh, this is important because I get this question all the time. So, as far as a job, when you move, if you're not able to find a job, sometimes it's because God wants to put you in your purpose. He doesn't want you working for anyone else, right? Um, that's what it was in my case. And it took me a while to find a job. And what I had to do was apply to so many jobs. And I finally got an interview at one of them. And I was speaking to God about it. I'm like, all right, Lord, this work is very similar to the work that you have in me doing my business. So, do I want, they advise, like people, I guess, career people, or I've heard this somewhere before, but you never want to get a job like doing the same thing. You never want to get a second job doing the same thing that you do in your first job, right? Okay, because you're going to get burnt out. It's going to overwhelm you, and it's most likely just not going to make any sense, okay? Because you're not going to want to do the same thing. Sorry, I don't know why I just did that. But you're not going to want to do the same thing like Monday through Friday and then Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. So anyway, I was like, Lord, why would I go and invest my time, my energy, my wisdom, my talents into somebody else's dream when I could literally just sacrifice and do what I got to do to be full throttle and invest in my own business, right? Because this is my business is my dream. I'm living out one of my dreams. This is something that I've prayed to God for. This is something that I wrote down in journals and in books, and I really, have business proposals and plans where like this is things that God really had me building. And I was up at 2, 4 a.m. in the morning hearing ideas from him about it and just right. So why would I let that go? Or why would I delay myself? Um, oh, God want me to tell y'all something else real quick. I'm gonna write it down before I forget. Why would I delay myself by putting myself in another situation where it's gonna be time consuming? So anyway, he gave me the option. He said, I'm gonna give you this interview. You take the interview, you're gonna be putting yourself back just working for people, like basically the cycle I'm in right now, right? Or you trust me to be your provider and you don't take the job. So don't y'all know that the morning of my interview I did not go. I I told them I would like the interview. But the morning of that interview, I couldn't go. Something in me just could not go to that interview. And it was virtual, it was online, but I couldn't go to the interview. And I felt no regrets about it. I did not feel bad at all. And don't you know that either the same day or the very next day, the Lord blessed me with like $7,000 out of nowhere. And it was to help me move. So I ended up leaving Atlanta with so much provision, so much uh, just God's resources to help me with my furniture, with the travel, with whatever else I was gonna need, that I was gonna be set for months out there, right? And when I was like, all right, Lord, by January or February, I'll start applying to new jobs. January, February came of 2021. He did not have me apply to no new jobs. Nope, I was working. I was still like picking up, I was being a professor, I was teaching or doing workshops for people. Um, and they was paying me for that, but he did not have me go back to work for nobody else. And then boy, girl, listen, whoever listening to me, by June of 2021, that was all he wrote. He was guiding me on another journey, and he said, baby, pack it up, it's time to journey with me for real, for real, pick up your cross, okay? And I was like, where are we going? Where are we going now? So yes, if you gonna move, honey, trust God with your whole heart. Trust God with your whole heart, okay? Because I've had some hard cries, I've had some cold nights, but I cannot replace and I do not regret the walk that He has had me on and the things that he has had me do to get to the place where he has me today. So if you're ready to move and the Lord has told you to pack it up, leave everything and go, it's time to leave everything and go. And you're not going to have these like big drastic, right, signs. It's just going to be him constantly confirming or prompting you or urging you or placing the desire in your heart to go and trust me. Go and trust me. You're not going in your own will. You're not going in your own strength. You're going and you're trusting me. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that your steps are ordered. I'm going to be the light that guides you, and you're going to prevail. You're going to be successful. I'm going to multiply you. I'm going to increase you. And it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be possible. Why? Because you're going to do it with the Lord, okay? So, as I was speaking that, my loves, he wanted me to tell you about the timing. Don't delay in moving when he tells you to move, because it's a time frame, like it's a time window of grace for you. And for instance, a lot of people might be relocating to your location where you're at, or something might be happening um in your city soon, like some type of revival or whatever. If you wait 2 to 3 years because you're trying to have everything planned out and saved up, and you want to make sure you're good, and I need this and I need that before I move, you're going to be selling yourself short. You're going to miss it. Because if God says that I need you here now, I need you to move now, it's an urgency on that move, okay? So you need to be in that city as soon as possible so that you don't miss whatever's going to be going on there. And sometimes if you wait too long, it's going to be overpopulated. The rent rates or the housing market is going to be crazy, and it's just going to be more daunting for you to move. Okay, so be obedient when you hear God give you that unction to move. And I pray that something in this message is confirmation to you that, like, oh, I have been seeing these signs, or he has been confirming to me in these ways. I thought it was something drastic, like where he's gonna lead me in the Bible to move, where his audible voice at, or what dream he gonna give me, what prophetic vision. No, no, he's literally going to be, he's talking to you, it's gonna be like in the flow, and he's gonna confirm his word for you, okay? And so some places that he's been telling people to move, that he's been instructing people to move, okay? Because I've been speaking to my sisters and brothers in Christ, and he's moving them to Texas, okay, Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina, okay? And so we got Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. Those are the main places that I've heard God has been relocating his people to. And so yeah, if your place is on that list that he has placed on your heart, this is extra confirmation for you, okay? Go. If you're coming to Georgia though, be prepared, okay? Because it's a battle out here, all right? Um, but you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be surprised to see what's on the other side of where you're at now, okay? Oh, he wants me to mention this. Some of you might be getting into constant feuds, like say if you live with your parents, because I live by myself, so I know I didn't mention this because I lived alone, so this wasn't my case. But like, say if you get into constant disagreements with your neighbors or with your family, like your mom, your dad, or your sister and brother, um and you just feel uncomfortable in your home, right? I spoke about being uncomfortable at work, but if you feel uncomfortable in your home and having constant disagreements, or your parents making you feel like you're unwelcome there, right? Because maybe you're at a certain age, and they like, baby, you need to kind of be on your own by now, right? And you're like, but how? I don't have enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have any degrees. Who's gonna take me in a job, or where am I going to live, right? God doesn't want you to worry about any of that. He wants you to trust him, leave everything and go, okay? And he's going to, as long as you submit all of your plans to him, all of your desires to him, he's going to make sure that your steps are ordered, all right? And it can look like the worst of the worst, but he's going to be with you to guide you through that, okay? And so, yeah, that might be something you experience as well. fights with neighbors, family, friends, or whatever, and you're just like, baby, this ain't it. He's making you uncomfortable for a reason, okay? Because if you was comfortable, you would most likely stay. But he's saying, no, I need to make you uncomfortable so you know that it's time to get up out of there and get up on with your life, okay? Now, those of you who are the opposite, maybe you love your family. You love your family and friends. You love your colleagues, and this is the most peaceful that you've ever felt in your life, and it's a beautiful environment that you live in, that you work in, okay? And you don't want to leave these people behind, but you know God is telling you to move. I want to encourage you to leave everything and go anyway. Why? Because you can always go back home. You can always go back home. Home is always going to be home. It's always going to be there. And sometimes you might have this desire in your heart to go, but because your family don't want you to go, like your mom, your dad, or you've been living their dreams out, right? They've imposed their dreams onto you, so you've been doing what they told you to do and not what you really want to do. No, baby, it's out of order. Leave that alone, leave them where they are, because you have to think about it. You're a product of your parents' choices. They're the decisions that they've made, right? When they were in your position, when they were in your shoes, when they were your age. And so now they have to you have to make your own life. You have to build your own life for your own family and friends, okay? And so live out your dreams. Don't be afraid to live your life, and your family will be there when you get back home, or they're going to travel with you, and they'll either come visit you or they'll just get a house where you are. They'll live someplace where you are, you know, close to you, so that y'all can keep that bond, all right? But don't ever not do something because you're afraid of how your family and friends are going to perceive you once you do it. If it's for you, and most importantly, if it's for God, because he called you to do something for the kingdom or higher, right? For his glory, hallelujah, do it. Be obedient and do it, okay? All right, my loves, that is all. I think we are done. We are done. Okay. I pray that this video was helpful. I again was just speaking from my personal experience and my insight, how the Lord told me it was time for me to move. It was a ton of signs, ton of confirmations, ton of feelings in my heart, and um, him putting things together in all of the chaos and disorganization. He still somehow made it all work out for me, okay? And so let that be your word, okay? If you receive this, just type in the comments that you receive it, baby, okay? If this is confirmation for you, just I don't know, let me know, okay? I'm so excited for y'all to move. When y'all get to where God is taking y'all, you're going to just feel a ton of weight lifted off of you. You're gonna feel so much better. It's gonna be like, I can breathe here, okay? I'm not distracted. I'm focused. God is doing a work in me, through me, for those connected to me. And you're gonna do more than you ever thought you could, okay? More than you ever dreamed of, all right? And so I love y'all. Be blessed. Do not forget to be a blessing. Go visit the Queen. Actually, don't visit me, okay? I'll tell y'all when y'all can visit me, but not right now. I love y'all. All right, be blessed. And yeah, let God's grace and peace saturate your life. Mwah.